Have you ever wondered why Microsoft licensing is so complicated? Why software licensing in general is so complicated, Microsoft included? Why is it not making any sense at times? Why, for example, if I buy a server license, I'm still not allowed to use it until I buy some client access licenses? I already paid for the server. I bought with the server, I installed it. What client access licenses? Or why can I not just buy empty computers for my enterprise and then, because I have a Microsoft Enterprise agreement, just deploy Windows Enterprise on those computers? Why am I not allowed to do this? It just doesn't make sense. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you may have been asking these questions. And when I entered the world of IT more than 20 years ago, when I, for the first time, decided to get familiar with software licensing, I was baffled. And only after spending a few years on software asset management, I started getting to this explanation that I continue repeating again and again. I've already tried to explain it on this channel, comparing a license to a gym membership.
I pay a monthly membership fee, and I don't own the gym.
Or using two glasses to explain the difference between hardware asset management and software asset management. They give you a glass, but what you actually paid for is a right to actually use this glass. If you fancy watching those, you should see an eye symbol here, the top right corner. So the reason why it doesn't make sense is that we treat a license as if it were a thing, but it isn't. Say I go to an online shop and I use my card to pay for a Microsoft Visio license, and then that Visio belongs to me. No, it doesn't. What I did by paying with a card is I paid a license fee. And in exchange for that fee, Microsoft allowed me to download Visio, install it, and then only use it inside the boundaries defined by Microsoft. Only those boundaries. When you buy, for example, a camera or a cup, chair, you exchange your money for a thing. It has always been like that for hundreds of years, a one-to-one exchange and the concept of ownership. But a license is not a thing. Strictly speaking, you cannot buy software. You pay a license fee. Then in exchange for that fee, the vendor grants you rights to use that software, again, in the boundaries set by the vendor, the boundaries that they defined. And you have to play by the rules. So my advice is, every time you think about licenses, every time you think it doesn't make sense when you treat it as a thing, don't. Think about it as a contract, as a set of terms and conditions, rights and obligations. For that exact reason, the number of licenses that you need does not always correspond to the number of times you install the software. If you misunderstand that, you'll be losing money, either by overpaying or through audit penalties. Misunderstanding of the lack of that one-to-one connection is one of the main sources of non-compliance. With some products, you may only need one license that will cover multiple instances of that product. And vice versa, it may be just one instance of a Microsoft Office that your employees access from their homes using VPN. If you have 15,000 employees, and actually you need to count devices, their home devices. If you have 15,000 devices that have a possibility to access just one copy of Microsoft Office, you need 15,000 licenses. And I see this mistake everywhere. Corporations buy a new server and they order a license, whilst they actually may already have it. Or they may be licensed through a different license, and they just wasted money. They deploy a virtual machine and again they order a license for it, which may not be required. Or vice versa, it may require 10 licenses, 15,000 licenses, depending on where you deploy it, how you deploy it. And licensing rules and formulas you need to calculate how many licenses you require, they depend on various conditions. So you need to read the small print. You need to read the product terms and conditions. It's not that licensing does not make sense. Well, sometimes it doesn't. It's our approach to licensing. A license is a right, it's not a thing. And if you treat all the licensing from that point of view, you'll be making fewer mistakes. And that applies to Microsoft licenses or to any other vendor for that matter. If you feel brave enough to start reading what terms and conditions apply to your licenses, I have a video here with all the necessary download links. And for those of you who would like to learn more, there will be, and already are, additional videos on this channel in which I am explaining all the basic concepts of Microsoft licensing, all the most important terms and conditions. And on this note, goodbye and happy learning.